Hi there. Today is Sunday, May 14th, 2023, and this is our Creative Week. How have you been? I have been a somewhat busy this week. Um, I wanted to show you, I had mentioned this last week, I think, that I had finished, more or less finished the circular jacket. I'm gonna dive right in. And it doesn't really go with the shirt that I'm wearing, but yeah, please forgive me. So the back of it, um, I back, and then it just kind of the circle part at the top. I guess you could kind of wear it as a little bit of a hood, but normally it just folds back, kind of overlaps a little bit. You could put like a shawl pin or something in there to keep it closed. Now, the one last thing I want to do is I realize that the armholes are incredibly large. Mathematically, it's work, but in reality, with gravity and all that thing. So I'm either going to like seam that up or add in some motif. I have a very little bit of yarn left, but there's that. I'm happy it's finished, and I even blocked it, which I blocked it, and I thought I was going to pin out every one of these little leaves that I had crocheted on there. No, no, I didn't even want to count them, much less, much less do much else with. All right, oh, what about me? Okay, so the other thing, um, I did. Well, I've got a few things to show y'all. So last week, I mean, the previous week, I had sculpted the polar bear head, um, for Zoom. I actually filmed a video last week. I think I did, for the polar bear sculpture. This week I painted him. Look at that face. Look at that face. And then, unfortunately, it's really kind of out of out of proportion with the body. The body has been jointed together, but it's still very floppy because I haven't fixed on a pose yet. So I have a polar bear body, which I haven't shown this one in a while. So we'll take a moment to show you the embroidery. No. And then I have a whole polar bear head that don't really match. I mean, it's just a wee bit too small. It just didn't look right. It just didn't look right. Even though this is the same proportion, even I took in the body by about a quarter of an inch, to make it a little smaller. And the body is the same pattern that I use, the same base pattern that I used for Gerald, and this head is about the same size as Gerald the giraffe, more or less. But of course, the fact that Gerald's head is on this long neck and suspended far above kind of makes a difference, more than I realized. So I'm going to have to make a new head for this body, and I will probably make a new body for this head. So now, now I'll have to decide, do I want to put them together in a single sculpture? Do I want to just do two complementary sculptures, like a large and a small-ish? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so that's happening. I have plenty of fabric and all, able to do another body. So that's not a problem at all. It was just oh man, I thought I was closer. So let's see. That's three projects so far. Oh no, that's two. I mentally did this one. I like rehearsed this one in my head, but I haven't shown it to you yet. So another thing I did, this was last night. Um, I had okay. So this started a while back. Actually, let me back up a bit. So if you're not familiar, there's a site called ThreadUp, and it's essentially like an online thrift store, for clothing, accessories, and so forth. And if you are, if you don't mind thrift shopping, and you're looking for certain pieces at a deep discount, some things are like new with tags, others are barely worn. Um, then it can be kind of a neat site to shop from. I had purchased this is like a little pinafore dress, so it's like a little apron dress with these great wide V straps on the front and back. and a skirt. It's this burgundy corduroy, very lightweight though. The only thing was it was listed as a size that should have fit, and yet I should have known better because of the brand that it was. That it was probably not going to fit, and it didn't. So what I did was I opened up last night. I just finally decided, you know what, we're going to do it because I just went through my fabric. I found more that needed to be folded and put on the shelves and in the dresser and everything. So I had just come across a fabric bundle that I'd purchased again more than a year ago from Swanson's Fabric, which is an online fabric shop that deals in like it's basically a thrift store for craft supplies for fabric and now yarn and other craft supplies, and it's really great. Again, if you're open to like looking at things and you want to thrift things and be a little bit more eco-conscious, I had bought a couple of fabric bundles a while back, and one of them was a black bundle and one was a pink bundle. I mean, it's me, okay? Um, and so I had like maybe half a yard ish of this. It's a polyester. It's just your basic polyester on the back, but it's got this printing of this like faux snake skin, and I thought it would be kind of cool in with something like this. So I opened up the side seams, added in the panels on each side, and then so now it fits. Now it fits my waist and hips, no problem. And then there's these little patch pockets that are on the front. I plan on taking I have plenty of this left over from the like half yard or whatever I had, but I'm going to put some trim on the top of the patch pockets, and I'm even thinking of maybe adding like a patch over the top. I don't have to, in fact, I almost need to take in by the inchiest amount the shoulder straps because I have a short waist, short torso, but yeah, so nothing ever fits perfectly right off the rack kind of thing. But yeah, so I might add a piece of that same material onto the top of the strap, so it looks more cohesive. But I love this in general. Anyway, so that's project number I have to show you. The gorilla painting, that is now at the Thomasville Center for the Arts, getting ready for getting ready for the Tom Collection exhibition, which will open at the Center for the Arts on May 25th. I will be out of town for that, but I look forward to seeing it when I get back in June. I had originally thought, I don't know if I told you all of this last week or not. I originally thought that I took the photo that I used for reference at the San Diego Zoo back in 2006. I didn't. Turns out I took it at the Jacksonville Zoo in 2011, where we were for my 35th birthday, I think. At any rate, and so when I was searching around to try and find the name of this gorilla, I suspect I have not heard back from the Jacksonville Zoo yet. I have sent the question to them just for fact-finding sake at this point. I've titled the painting HG. Think H.G. Wells, but not that. It stands for Honorable Gorilla or Honorary George. For those of you who know, I collect monkeys, and all of them have George in the name, some way, shape, or form. Gorillas are not monkeys; they are apes, and but he's an honorary George, but he's also an honorable gorilla. But I believe him to be there's a good chance he might be Lash, Lash, who passed away actually this past December at the ripe old age of 35, 45. Anyway, he was on up there for a gorilla. And so yeah, that I think that might be who he is. It kind of looks like him on some of the pictures I've seen, but I'm waiting to see if I hear back. So anyway, that's been sent over to there. And then finally, I am traveling this week. I am heading out to Arizona for another couple weeks there visit. And I like to have a project or two with me to do while, we're watching movies or TV or whatever, just hanging out. I will ideally be using a chunk of the time I'm there to work on to start book 5 for the Eden Creek series. But I have decided to finally tackle the building with lace this way. The building with lace book, and it creates. I've had this for a little while. Had some yarn picked out for it, but I just haven't started it yet. And it creates this lovely shawl or stole with 9 different lace patterns in it. And so it's kind of like a sampler. It takes you through each of the patterns. And I have had some gorgeous yarns picked out that I've treated myself to for my birthday several years ago. They're all in these like baby pink. They probably look white on the screen right now. And with some speckles, and there's even some Surrey silk, which is Surrey alpaca and silk, and so it's very fluffy, kind of like mohair. And I decided to go ahead and get it set up, and so here are the first 8 rows in the Surrey silk blend, and then the setup rows for the first lace pattern. Of course, I'm using a different yarn weight and doing some other things, but that's what it is so far. And then you use a provisional cast on. I don't know what that is. Don't worry about it. Feel free to look it up if you're curious, but it just means that I have something holding the stitches to begin with, so that I can take out that provision, and then I can stitch the decorative edging on at the end. So yeah, it's kind of like holding the stitches. Anyway, so I've got that set up and ready to go for when I fly out. I like to get it set up rather than trying to start actually on the plane, because that way lies madness and frustration. Been there, done that. Don't want to do that again. So yeah, that's been my week. Feels like a lot. Some of those were long coming updates, like the circular jacket, which is done. I mean, it's wearable as is. All the ends are woven in, but yeah, I could certainly do a little bit more. I have been working on getting more stuff moved back into the studio, working on other projects. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where things are right now. So yeah, that's my update. It just whoosh, I think I just kind of hit a wall. There went my energetic like first or second wind, I don't know. At any rate, I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you take some time in this coming to make the time to refill your creative well. Remember, it is good for our mental health to do something that brings us joy, something that makes our little synapses and neurons fire up in happiness. And so yeah, keep that in mind. Keep yourself in mind. And I will be back next week from Arizona with another update. Bye-bye.